So you signed a contract to purchase a home. Now what? I'm Terri Egstad, a realtor in the DFW area, and I'm here to walk you through the process. The first thing you're going to do once you execute the contract is coordinate your earnest money and option fee to be delivered to title. It used to be that you had to write a check and hand deliver it to the title company. Now it's so easy. You have apps, you have wiring, you have all sorts of ways to make it super easy. So you should not miss your deadline. Speaking of deadlines, you have 3 days from date of execution until 5 o'clock on the third day to get the funds in. It's really important that you meet those deadlines. If you don't, first of all, you're not going to have a valid contract. But secondly, you're going to forfeit your option period, and you certainly don't want to do that. The option period is when you are doing your due diligence. You're going to hire an inspector, and then you're going to take those findings and create your list of repairs to negotiate with the seller. So you definitely need to take advantage of that. The next thing you'll want to do is get your inspection scheduled. Your realtor probably has a list of inspectors that they work with on a regular basis that they're happy to provide to you. The earlier you schedule your inspection, the better. That way you have time to review the findings with your agent and decide on which items you want to request that the seller take care of for you. Around this time, you'll also be coordinating your lender, getting that lined up and set up so that everything is in place so the transaction goes really smoothly. You probably already have a lender that you use to do the pre-qualification letter when you submitted your offer. So it's always a good idea not only to get quotes from that lender, but possibly another lender just so you can look at rates and compare fees and see what works best for you. Most importantly, having someone that you're comfortable with, as well as someone who is responsive, is very important. And you'll see that throughout the transaction because you're going to be in communication with them quite a lot. The next thing you're going to want to do is see your HOA documents. Sometimes they have rules and restrictions that may prohibit you from doing some of the things you had planned on doing at the house, such as if you had a RV that you wanted to park in the driveway. Well, a lot of HOAs don't allow that. So if you have any special things that you're wanting to do or put on the property, like a gazebo, anything like that, you definitely want to check through their rules and regulations to see what they allow and don't allow. Not only are you going to want to shore up your lender, you'll also want to determine which insurance company you want to use to do your homeowner's insurance. Right now you have a good bit of time, so it's a great idea to research that and get several quotes so you can compare them and see what works best for you and your family. You'll also want to get with the post office to do an address change. You'll also see that on your contract in the third-party financing addendum, there is a certain number of days that you and the seller have agreed to that you would have your financing in place. So you want to make sure what that date is and work diligently with your lender to make sure that you can meet that deadline. So as it gets closer, just be sure to watch for that and check in with your lender and make sure they have everything they need and that everything looks good so you can move forward. You'll also want to talk to your lender about moving funds. A lot of times people will have money in different accounts. Maybe it's an investment account or a different banking account, something like that. Sometimes you're going to have to pull those into one account so that you'll be able to wire those funds to the title company for closing. So always talk to the lender and make sure they realize that what you're doing because they have to source the funds. So you want to be sure that they know that you're moving money around and the amounts and from what accounts, because you want to make sure that you do it so that they can actually document it so that you can use those funds. Speaking of which, sometimes you can have a really amazing friend or relative who wants to help and wants to give you a gift of money to go towards your closing cost. Be sure and talk to your lender about this. Depending on several different circumstances, they may or may not allow it. So be sure you check with them before you accept anything. You will be getting a lot of documents from the title company. Be sure and review those. You'll receive your commitment, so look through that. And you will also be getting your wiring instructions. Once you have those, be sure and reach out to the title company, give them a call, and just verify what those account numbers are, because wire fraud is a real thing. And we certainly don't want you or anyone to fall victim to that, because once that wire is sent out and it goes to a fraudulent party, it's really hard, if not impossible, to get it back. So very important that you go ahead and just confirm that with the title company right at the get-go. Title companies do not change their wiring instructions. So if you ever get an email saying to wire funds somewhere else, again, be sure and call the title company. As you're getting closer to closing, 3 days prior to closing, your lender is going to send you a closing disclosure. In that document, it's going to list the sales price, the loan amount, your interest rates, any prorations, any credits the seller's giving you, anything like that. So you want to go through and make sure all of that is correct. If you have questions, be sure and address it with the lender as soon as possible so they have time to get everything corrected before closing. Now that you're getting so much closer to closing, you're going to want to schedule your final walkthrough. That is done usually the day before closing or the day of closing. I like to do it the morning of closing just so you can see it fresh and you know that that's the condition you're purchasing the home in. If you have time, that's always a good call. But highly recommend doing your walkthrough with your realtor before closing. You're going to look to see if everything is as it should be, if the house is clean, if they left the refrigerator, if you asked them to leave it, if they did the repairs that they were supposed to do per your repair amendment. So that is your last chance to walk through, make sure maybe a leak didn't occur or something crazy like that. So you want to make sure that everything is as it should be. So now that you've done your walkthrough, you're going to be heading to the title company to close. The process takes about an hour to sign all the documents. You'll realize there's quite a few. So you'll go through that process. The closing officer is going to go through the papers with you, answer any questions that you might have. After you've finished signing, they're going to scan those to the lender. Lender's going to check and make sure all the signatures are there, everything's dated, that nothing was missed. So they'll review all of those. And that usually takes about an hour, 2 hours, just depending. But once they've done that, they will reach back out to the title company and they will issue a funding number. That is the email you're looking for. Once they are funded, you are now the homeowner. So after you get that information, then you will go back to the title company and pick up your keys and get ready for moving. So hopefully you've gotten some useful information out of this video. If so, please click the like button below. If you have any questions or comment, please put those in the comment section below. My contact information is also below, so please feel free to reach out. If you guys are looking to buy or sell in the DFW area, I'd love to help. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Have a great day. Thanks.